and the patching continues. All right, so I got that patched in pretty nice. I got that looking pretty good, I think. Even Connor likes it, right, Connor?
It does look good.
Okay, good. That looks about even what it ought to be for the inner patch. Now I'm going to finish welding this up because I don't have it tightened up all the way. It's not sealed. I had to put a little filler piece in there. But I can weld it from the back side. I won't have to grind it all off or anything. I'll just leave it, and then I'm going to spray paint it with some etching primer. And I also got that hole there I just opened up. Yay. So I got to treat that up and prime the patch on the back side before I put it on. So I won't be welding these in until tomorrow. But I am going to weld that in today so I can go ahead and prime that today. And I got my outer patch. Looks like I got the contour pretty close to what that is. It looks like it matches. And I can manipulate that as I'm welding it. And I'll get it so it fits in there. But it's looking pretty good. I think I got it good enough to where I'm happy. What do you think, Mr. Merle? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so gonna get cracking on that. I'll weld that up and then spray some primer on it and spray some treatment on that and go from there. Hot to the touch. Well, I'm gonna let that sit and cool for a minute. I like using one hand to steady the nozzle if I can, but I'm not as steady as I used to be. To grind that off. All right, looking good. Okay, got the primer sprayed on this. I'm not gonna spray this side. Looking pretty good. Got it primed up, metal etch primer, because that was pretty clean metal. And this over here, I've got the OSPHO on it doing its thing. You see it's turning to black in places already, so gotta leave it wet at least 30 minutes. And that should turn that into iron phosphate. Here I got a couple parts. I got them all primed up. I've got them sitting on my heater just to keep them a little warmer because my shop is about 61 or so, you know, and I'm really burning up a whole bunch of fuel because you know what? We've got cold weather in winter. I know, I can't believe it either, but we do. And so I think it's some kind of boom cyclone enigma. I think that's our weather pattern. Anyway, it's terrible cold. It's like 6 degrees outside, which is pretty normal, but whatever. All that to say, I keep my parts warmed up because I don't want condensation on them. When I spray stuff and seal in condensation, that's death. That's death for steel if you actually seal moisture in. So I gotta get welding these parts in, but I'm also gonna use some seam sealer, and I got this stuff down at my local Happy Napa, along with the hat too. Yeah, so my buddy Tim says this is the stuff to use. Let's see what it does. Okay, I got my patch piece, and I got that seam sealer that I'm supposed to put across here. So I'm just gonna brush some of that on there. I've never used it before, so this is all new. We'll see what happens. But I'm just gonna schmooze some in that corner. I've got it bent beyond a 90 so that I can fold it up around the inner door part. Use an acid brush with this stuff. If I can get the lid off. I had the lid loose, but here we go. We got the lid off. I'm just gonna take this acid brush. It's kind of a consistency of almost like toothpaste. Supposed to dry and skin over and be paintable. I don't know if I want to put it on both sides. I think I'm just going to apply it to this. That is what I'm going to do because when I do go to squeeze this on, I think it's going to want to smooch out. Oh, look at that. I got way up there. Oh, it doesn't matter. This is all the back side. This is all going to be inside the door. So if I do this terrible sloppy, no one will ever know. But I do want to get a full coating on it and get it right up to the edge because I think it's going to protect it a little bit. I just want to make sure it gets protected. So I'm so cheap, I want to save this little acid brush, but I don't think it's going to be savable. So this stuff's going to start skinning up pretty quick. So what I got to do is position this piece, and without trying to disturb all that stuff I just smeared on there. Okay, and I got it pretty close. So what I'm doing is I'm going to get it there like that. I got my magnet, stick it there. I just want to get that front edge tacked in. So I'll be using the welder to do that, just to catch it. I want to make sure I get that pretty even. I don't want it sticking beyond. It looks like I got to come this way a hair. I want to have this bottom edge right here even with the old bottom edge. And then I'm going to put a little tack in it. And from the tack, I'll be able to move it around and work it. Yeah, that's the spot right there. So, fire up the welder. That's got to go up just a little bit. That wants to live right there. This wants to live right here. That looks pretty good. I think all in all, it's going to be okay. I'm going to get a little tack right there. Well, it's almost like I don't have the gas on, but it's the first tack of the day, so. Yep, and that's flush down there. Don't think the magnet's necessary now. A little tight right there. So let me see if I can just tap that in. Got it. Caught it. Well, it's caught, and it looks to me like everything is where it needs to be. I'm gonna put like a couple more tacks in, and then I'm gonna start hammer dollying that in place. Caught it there. Caught it there. Now I'd rather this patch, if I have a choice, is sub. So when I go over with putty, it's, you know, it's not sticking up beyond. We don't want to make the car bigger by adding a patch that's outside of the car. We want it sub or flush. At least that's what I want to do. So I'm going to get another tack right here. And got it. Wanted to burn. So that might be just a hair high there. I'll have to work on it a little bit. So there she is. I think we got her looking pretty good. That's pretty flush right through there. Little bit sticking up there, just like a fraction. Can't hardly tell. And this looks pretty even down here. That's pretty even right here. I can't catch my nail on it. Can't catch my finger. This corner is even, and that goes down, and it follows the profile. If I close it, it lines right up. Wow, got the car wiggling. Lines right up with the rocker. Looking good. Now that looks like it's got to get tapped back a little, but I don't think I have to worry about that until after I hammer and dolly the whole part back together. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to hammer and dolly this thing down and try to get her looking right. For a couple years I bought this kit, Maddox Superior Automotive Tools. Actually, it's cheap stuff from Harbor Freight, as I recall. I might have ordered it online. I don't know. I don't remember where I got it, but it's Maddox branded. I did a video once on my Jag fender using the other hammer and dolly set from Maddox. The stuff works. I mean, it's super cheap. It's not like the super great stuff. I don't believe I ever used this for its intended purpose of door skins and door skin repair. I also have this, the skin zipper. I bought this back when I was, did a couple Dodge Cummins trucks, and the door bottoms were rotted out, so I'd buy the repair panel from LMC and then use this to zip it on. I wasn't all that thrilled with the way this thing worked, but we might give it a go today anyway, just to see what it does. So it's been a few minutes since I brushed this stuff on, and already it's skinning over. It's not sticking to my finger. Oh, it does. I broke through the skin and it stuck to my finger, but generally that's skinned over and dried on the surface. So I guess I better get cracking. My little Craftsman compressor is dying, its fan falling apart on it. So it's making a racket. Wow. Well, the compressor finally kicked off, and I've got my Steck 60 number Max A, patent number whatever, just fell apart. Oh, I don't remember that happening, but anyway, it came off the handle. But I don't think that'll matter, because all I'm going to do is push it up on here and see if I can get it to fold that over. Now, I'm going to start at one end, and I have to get it in such a position that I can pull this back and tight. Well, it looks to me like it's fairly worthless, but I'm probably doing something wrong. Not sure what. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. So there's a step one, which is this right here, and it's got a pretty wide angle. It's just to get you started. and it doesn't go in very deep, so I think I'm already hitting bottom. Then there's step 2, and that's for a thick one, and this is for a thin one, so this one's tighter. So I'm gonna try step 2 and see if that does anything different. See, step 2 is tighter. It gets you in tighter. Come in like that. Well, it seems to be doing it. It's shoving it right up on there, so that's pretty good. You know what I think I better do though? While I'm doing this, I'm gonna get a vice grip and clamp. Oh, I got one right here. Well, looky there, but I'm gonna have to I gotta get a clamp type style vice grip. I'll be right back. Now you can see what that tool did. It's got it bent up to there. Now I'm thinking from there I'm gonna have to go with a hammer and dolly anyway, but at least it gets me part of the way. And over here it's still loose, like this skin is pulled away. I gotta get it tight, so I'm gonna put that vice grip in here and clamp that down. All right, that's pulling that skin in better. So let's see what we can do. Huh. Ain't doing nothing now. I don't understand that. I got the angle wrong or what, but it ain't doing nothing. Wow, pinched it right over there. Looks like it's doing okay. Now I gotta wait for my compressor to catch up because it is slow. It's old. It's old and small. It doesn't work right. Well, guys, I'd say that's pretty spiffy. That looks pretty good. Feels pretty good. Feels very similar to the original. Doesn't look like it damaged anything. Little ripply there, but I can fix that. I gotta see what I can do up here. Well, that didn't come out very good. I got a little issue here. I think I overfolded it. Make that look good. There ain't no way. Gotta be a little bead of weld there, I think, or might have to weld a wire on there just to build it out. But. So I'm not real thrilled with what happened here. It's kind of goofy looking, but you know what I could do? I'll blend it. It may not look perfect in the whole long, broad scheme of things, but we'll get her looking pretty good. Now I notice a flaw in this thing, and it's not really a flaw. But this side says thick, and that's the side I need because this is kind of heavy. This side says thin, and I did use it over here, and that's why I think I mushed that back too far. But the thick side, you can only come from one side. You know, you can't come from... I don't think I can do it this way anyway. I could try it. Could see what happens coming in from the other side. Because I want to go from the top down to here, so it kind of squeezes it together as it goes. So my gun doesn't work very good. Let me see if I can fix it. Well, 4 or 5 drops of oil in the air chuck, and I think it's gonna work. Okay, let me see if this will work. Yep, it's working. Now it's not working. Come on, you. Works if I hold it right side up. Oh my gosh. Open up the air a little. like I'm gonna have to do a little hammer and dolly work. I think I might like this hammer and dolly set for the door skin because it's got this nice little angle on it here. I think I'll be able to hit it nicer. Easier maybe. I gotta be kind of careful though. Let's see what I got here. Not too bad. That looks a little high there too, but not enough to bother me. This is what bothers me right here. Yeah, well, you know, you just can't do everything perfect. I'm open up enough now, I'm gonna use that end of it. Gentle little baby taps. Yeah, this side comes in handy for under a spot like that, where the inner door frame part, the inner panel of the door is so close to that, you can get in there a little bit better with that bent end. So I guess we're gonna do this, probably get the door kit instead of just a regular hammer and dolly kit. All right, so it don't look too terrible. I mean, it sure ain't perfect, but ain't perfect is kind of the theme of this whole car. Because it ain't gonna be perfect. It just isn't. Okay, I guess I gotta live with that. Gotta live with this too, but I'm gonna see what I can do. Close the door. I got a little gap here where it doesn't quite match that after all that. And that's a little fat, but not terrible. I think I can live with that. But this here looks to me like it, for the most part, lines up there. But I think what I'll do is I'll take a piece of, I got welding rod for the TIG, metal rod. I'll put a piece of that there and I'll weld it in and grind it off and build that up. But I don't know, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just grind that off and make it blend. Because if I do that, it's gonna open that skin up. Oh my gosh, these dilemmas. Well, in the whole broad scheme of things, it really don't look too bad. It closes, it for the most part matches. It's a little out on the bottom here. I'll see if I can tap that back a little bit. Got to finish welding it up, and that looks like a patch, inner and outer on a door panel. What a nightmare though. Hey. Well, okay, so I made this little patch. I'm gonna weld it in flush. That's what I'm gonna do with this one. Now I've got it really close, and it's not that hard to do. I mean, look, I got it in there. It's perfectly flush. It's a little sub maybe, which is fine because it's going to get puttied anyway. And that putty will just stay in there. And look, it's just sitting there on its own. Now, I don't have much gaps. If you get big gaps, then you got a little bit of a problem with the welding part. But this ought to weld in there real easy, real nice. That might have to get tapped down a little bit. I did pry this out and treat everything with the OSFO. You got to get a complete thing because if any water comes through the backside behind the putty, it'll start rusting and it will bubble and pop it off and make it look like crap. And you won't get the durability. Well, I went ahead and welded up that door. I welded those patches in all the way around, try to get a nice and tight weld. Then I ground it off with this heavy metal wheel, this guy here, which really takes down the high welds pretty quick. Then I went after it with this grinder, which is a 7-inch floppy disk on a grinder. This is not a variable speed. It just starts whizzing and goes like mad, so it really takes material off. I'm worried about actually this thing build more heat than welding. You know, I always tell you guys I'm not a pro, I'm just the guy who does stuff. But it looks pretty good. I mean, it's not bad. After I ground it off and everything's pretty smooth. A little bumpy here. I might have to still do a little bit of grinding just to get that a little smoother, but really I could give it a nice coat of putty across it. So really, I'm pretty happy the way this turned out. It's really quite smooth. Putty will take care of the rest. I gotta grind that a little better, I feel it now. So it's about the end of the day for Johnny. So like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We'll see you guys on the next one.